Sound the alarms, little babies, because it is Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's time to trivia. I'm your host, who's a ghost, Timothy Dunn, and look, here's my Twitter handle right here on the screen. Oh, come on, after the game, come on over to say Twitter and say hi if you want. We talk all about the questions, who got stumped by what. You know, it's a whole community endeavor experience, and you are cordially invited. You don't do Twitter? Well, good for you. Our social media is rotting our brains. But I sure do love having an ooey gooey brain. So I'm on Instagram too. Find me over there. My name is Tim Dunn Him Fun. You know, because I'm fun. Are you having a nice February? I mean, Tuesday's Valentine's Day. Kind of big whoop though, right? I've never been a real big Valentine's Day person. I celebrate love every day. Thank you very much. But are you watching the Olympics, you guys? Ooh, baby, I am into the Olympics this year. I loved the Big Air event. Shout out to Eileen Gu, my new favorite Big Air person. I love the alpine skiing. And I will say this. Oh, I skied this morning. Aren't you proud of me? Isn't that nice? But the Olympics are tricky for me because they make everything look really easy, right? Like I've never even heard of a Super G event before. And I certainly didn't even, I could never make it down any of those courses, okay? I'm not a great skier, but that doesn't stop me from sitting there and screaming at the screen, does it? How can you go so short on the blind turn? Get it together, come on. Well, I guess that's kind of the point, you know what I mean? They make it look so easy and it's enjoyable. Shout out to Nathan Chen, the USA's big male figure skating gold medalist. I love him. I'm so glad he won. I was crying. I've been crying with pride this entire week. I cry when I watch the Olympics because I'm so proud of all these people who have trained so hard and they win an award or they fall down really hard, and I cry anyway. Okay, let's keep everyone crying today, shall we? Because today we're gonna get some winners in here. Let's go ahead and play for a prize pot of $50 dang dollars, and let's split that prize pot 3 ways, giving $25 to our gold medalists, $15 to our silver medalist, and $10 for the bronze, baby. Those are some great prize amounts, you got to admit it. Do they win money for winning Olympic golds? I mean, I'm sure they get endorsements and stuff, but I'm going to say it. They'll get $25 for winning the gold on the Olympics, so we're better than the Olympics. That's all I'm saying. But Tim, how do I win the money here? Well, put on your listening ears, because I'm going to tell you right now how we play 1-2-win trivia, okay? In just a second, I'm going to be asking you 12 general knowledge trivia questions, and I'm going to give you 10 seconds to tap on the answer that you think is correct. If you tap wrong, NBD. You can change your answer within the 10-second window that we give you. The more questions you get right, and the faster you do it, the closer you will be to winning our gold medal today. And remember, in this game, there is no elimination, and there's no penalty for guessing. So if you get a question wrong, just no big deal. Just brush your shoulders off and keep on playing, okay? Time is of the essence in this game because prizes will be awarded to the players who get the most amount of questions right in the least amount of time. That makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, it's time to play. Let's all just take a big deep breath. Focus, go with your gut, change your answer if you need to within the 10-second window we give you. That's why we give it to you, and who knows? Maybe you'll be our gold medal winner today on 1-2-win. You'll be the Chloe Kim of 1-2-win. She won the gold medal in women's half pipe snowboarding, something I didn't even know was an Olympic sport. Anything is possible. Reach for your dreams. If you're ready to play today, go ahead and type "going for the gold" into the chat. Going for the gold, because that's what we are all doing today and every day. Let's get the good vibes going. We have a really fun game for you. It's going to be great. Thanks for being here today. Happy National Latte Day. Going for the gold. I see you going for the gold. It's National Latte Day. I ignored that part. And you look at that. It's time for question 1. Good luck, friends. Woohoo. Here we go. Question 1. Question 1. How many seasons are there in a year? 2, 4, or 3? 2, 3, or 4? 4, 2, or 3? That's time right there. Have you ever heard of something called seasons? Ever heard of something called summer, spring, fall, winter? There's 4 seasons. At least that's what I say. 84 1-2-winners got that one right. We're going for the gold. A couple of you guessed 3. And sometimes it feels like there's only 3. Or honestly, one person said there were 2 seasons. And it feels like that some years. So I'm going to give you a nice little nod of the head, even though that's not the correct answer. Let's move on to question 2. Question 2, here we go. What part of speech is the word outside in the sentence, let's play outside? Is it an adjective, adverb, or noun? Part of speech is the word outside, and let's play outside. Here's a language question for you, and one that was sent in by the audience at that. Thanks again to Abhi. Last week's Q2 was also about language, and it was surprisingly brutal. One could even say it was fierce, savage even. Nah, we better not say that. So anyway, so grammar. Adjectives are words that modify nouns, but we don't have any nouns in that sentence, so that can't be it. And if we have no nouns, well, I mean, we don't have any nouns, so it can't be nouns either, you know what I mean? The word outside is, in this case, modifying the verb play, which makes it an adverb. And 53 of you heard the word on Q2. We're moving on to Q3. Is everyone having a nice time? I really hope you are. Q3. What can humans contract from ticks? Ascariasis, Lyme disease, or trichinosis? From ticks. That's it right there. Now, Jesus loves trying to stump me with these difficult words to pronounce, but I nailed them. Thank you very much. And let me just say that ticks are some nasty little boogers, okay? They're less than 1/4 of an inch in length, and much like vampires, they drink your blood. Disgusting. And not only that, they are parasites, and they're responsible for spreading a bunch of different infections. Fun! What a fun, happy question this is. So you really want to stay away from ticks. The point is, stay away from ticks, okay? Now, the 3 options in this question are all parasitic diseases that affect humans, but only one of them is actually spread by ticks. And it's a pretty nasty one that can lead to chronic fatigue. I'm talking about Lyme disease. That's our answer for question 3. 83 one-to-winners got that one right. Stay away from ticks. Don't go, if you go in the woods, check yourself, okay? And your dogs. And be well. That's the end of the game. Goodbye. Just kidding. Let's move on to Q4. Q4, here we go. What state is mentioned in John Denver's song, Take Me Home, Country Roads? North Carolina, South Carolina, or West Virginia? That's time right there. Country road, take me home to a place I belong. It's a nostalgic country song from the early 70s in which John Denver is just aching to get back home to the place where he belongs, aren't we all? And here's a fun fact. Do you know that neither he nor his co-writers had actually been to the state that John sings about? They were on a road trip to Maryland when they wrote the song. The state they wrote about, however, the place John longs for, is none other than where I certainly don't belong, West Virginia. But I'll forever be a mountain mama. And we got 83 one-to-winners that don't have a teardrop in their eye. Well, maybe one of happiness, I guess. That's a nice thing. I cry all the time. Let's move on to Q5. Q5. This is a toughie. Q5, the 2010s consisted of how many days? 3,650, 3,651, 3,652. That's time right there. And I always say, time is of the essence here on one2win. I mean, I told you a couple weeks ago, you really got to brush up on your time, okay? Also, this question was also written by Abhi, who seems to be applying for a co-writer position here at one2win. Anyway, do you have time to count the days of the years? Did you do the math real quick? Because, and here's the thing, something we can all agree on is that years have 365 days, right? Well, not quite. Leap years have 366 days. And the 2010s, which seem like forever ago at this point, had 2 leap years. So multiply them, add them up, calculate the square root, carry the 1, and you will reach the conclusion that 43 other one-to-winners did. There were 3,652 days in the 2010s. Let's see. Oh, that was a pretty tough one. We got 43 got that one right. 21 thought 61 or 51, and 23 thought 50. And to those people who guessed the other amounts, I say this to you: you're wrong. But that's okay. We have more questions. Let's move on to Q6. Q6. Which of these planets is Venus? Not the goddess of love. Which planet? Tap on the planet that is known as Venus. That's time right there. Oh, our space question and our picture question of the week, all at the same time. And right after the time question, too. Talk about the space-time continuum, huh? Hold for applause. I'm holding for applause. Now, I'm sure you know the names of all of the planets in the solar system, but do you know what they look like? I'm betting that you do, but just in case, the planets we showed you in clockwise order, starting from the top left, were Mercury, the gas giant Jupiter, the also very gassy Neptune, okay? And last, but definitely not least, Venus. This one right here. Did you get it? Did you know it? 62 of you did. Love the way you're playing. Keep up the great work. Let's move on to Q7, which is going to be very hard. Maybe not. I don't know. Q7, here we go. Which of the following events was originally broadcast in color on TV? Is it the 1967 Wimbledon Championships, Apollo 11 moon landing, or neither? Ooh, here's one for the other old-timers in here. Hello, old-timers. We ask questions for everyone. Did you watch any of these when they were first broadcast on TV? It's been a while. In fact, all three things happened in the early 1960s. The first one we can probably easily discard is the moon landing. Even if you weren't around back in the 60s, I'm sure you've seen the super high-def black and white footage, haven't you? No, it's all a hoax. The moon landing was a hoax. Just kidding. No, it was real. But actually, even though it happened 2 years before the moon landing, the 1967 Wimbledon Championships were pretty noteworthy because they were the first color TV broadcast in the UK and in Europe indeed, which means it's our right answer. 35 of you are dreaming in color. Oh, 37 of you guessed neither, and that's a tough one. You know what I mean? That's what we call a toughie. Maybe what word should we use for these questions? If you have any ideas, drop them in the chat. We can't say savage questions, right? Because that's someone else's business. But maybe like a real toughie, a stumpy. Did you get stumped on the stump? We're workshopping these, so everyone send your things for your answers in the chat and then send them to Jesus. But do not tell me. Do not tell me I can't be trusted. A stumbler. I like that one. A stumbler. Let's move on to Q8 though, shall we? Q8. In literature, which of these is not the name of a narrative technique? Accelerated timeline, false protagonist, unreliable narrator. That is not the name of a narrative technique. Do you like to read? What about reading about reading? I love to read actually, but I haven't read a book in the 2020s. Shrug emoji, it happens. In any case, two of these are very well-defined literary techniques, and the other, I just kind of made it up. Ain't that great? Doesn't that make me an unreliable narrator of sorts? Unreliable narrators are storytellers that you can't quite trust because they aren't entirely honest. And then the other one that's real is the false protagonist. You start to watch something, you're pretty convinced that Joe was the protagonist, and bam, it turns out it's actually Cameron. Cameron's the protagonist. And accelerated timelines, well, sorry, that's the one I made up. Sorry, gotcha. We've got 34 one-to-winners who got this question correct. Let's see, accelerated timeline. Great job, 34 one-to-winners. That's a good Q8, right? That's a good Q8. How about brutal? I love that everyone's still giving names in the chat. I peek at the chat during this. I probably shouldn't, but I do. Let's move on to Q9. Q9. In darts, what is the minimum score you need to achieve a high ton? 80, 100, or 150? A high ton. Do you like darts? I love playing darts. In darts, much like most games actually, there's some slang and some jargon that's used to refer to things that can happen in the game, you know? And since there are a bunch of different dart games, you can imagine this list is pretty extensive. But one term you'll find in most of them is high ton, which refers to a particularly large amount of points. But how many of them, I hear you ask? Tim, how many of them? You're screaming at your phones. Well, I will tell you, it starts with 3 double bulls. Or in other words, 150 points. And on Q9, 36 of you are on point. Oh, that was another toughie or a stumper. That was a stumpy. I don't know. We'll workshop it. Don't worry. Congrats if you got that one right. And if you didn't, you can keep playing. You never know. You never know it because it's about time and correct answers, everybody. So now's the time to take a deep breath. We have 2 questions left. Let's take a deep breath. Let's reset ourselves. 3 questions left, including 10. Okay. I know. Listen, no one said I was the brightest. Okay. I've historically never won an interactive trivia game on any platform ever. So I'm an unreliable host. Put that in the annals. All right, let's move on to Q10. I'm talking so much today. Q10, here we go. Which of these countries is not landlocked? Andorra, Bolivia, Slovenia. Which of these countries is not landlocked? Hope you had a map handy for this one because we've got 2 countries that are landlocked and 1 that almost is. Oh, these are tricky. Andorra is the land of the YouTubes and the streamers, where Spanish influencers go to avoid paying taxes or to pay less taxes. You know, it's tiny and it's very much landlocked between Spain and France. Then we've got Bolivia. It's way, way bigger, but it's also landlocked, surrounded by 5 other countries in South America, which means by process of elimination, the country that's not landlocked is Slovenia. Despite having a very short coastline, it does have one, and that means it's not landlocked. 43 one-to-winners got that right. We lost exactly 43 on this question is right. So as many people got this one right, got it wrong. And that's a stumpy, I say. That's a Is stumpy, does that mean something? If that means something lewd, please text us and let us know. I don't think it does. I guess stumpy. Okay. Don't tell me. Tell Jesus. Okay. Let's move on to Q11. Q11. Ooh, this is another one that I had trouble pronouncing. Q11. Which language is Ripuarian a dialect of? French, German, or Irish? Which language is Ripuarian a dialect of? Okay. Have you ever heard of Ripuarian? Okay. No? Okay. Well, I'm not going to lie. Obviously, me either. Okay. But it's spoken by about 1 million people, which is more than I can say for, like Esperanto or something. Some Ripuarian dialects are actually recognized as minority languages. So good for them, I guess, right? Ripuarian is mostly spoken in the south of Rhineland. And if that rings a bell, that might be because of the Rhine River. It's an area of Germany, and Ripuarian is indeed a German dialect group. 44 one-to-winners got that one right, and we lost even more. How about that? These questions are tough, everybody. These are tough. But you're tougher, and these are Stumpies. Welcome to Stumpies. We shouldn't call them Stumpies. No, we'll think of it. Okay. Now it's time for, can you believe it's already Q12? Where does time go? I feel like we just started and already we're on Q12. But let's all have fun and enjoy it because it's our last Q of the week. And here we go. Q12. Which of these programming languages was not designed by Microsoft? C#, J#, or M#? Ooh, I don't know anything about this. That is for dang sure. Aren't those some fantastic names for programming languages, though? It's like you're playing some weird music or something. Aren't they super creative? Now, 2 of these programming languages were created by Microsoft, and one of them was developed by a tiny company in the UK, also creatively called Geeks Limited. And without much further ado, the first option we're discarding is C#, actually one of the most popular programming languages, and the second one is J#, some weird mishmash of Java and an old Microsoft language. M# is the correct answer for Q12, and 29 were as sharp as a razor on the last question. And that's the game. Congratulations, everyone. Thanks for playing. Now is the time that I love the most. I love it all equally. But now let's see. We have 99 one-to-winners playing right now. Type in the chat what place you think you came in today. Someone's got to say number 1. Someone's got to say 99. And people have got to be in the middle there. But I really love it when people guess the answer. If you guess in the chat and then you actually get that, like, message me on Twitter. Let me know. I love those little things when they line up like that. So, like, let me know. We got a 101. We got a 71, 69. Nice. 72, 100. Angie guessed 29. Something about ham? These usernames are wild. All right. Number one. Oh, Samantha guessed number one. And Samantha, guess what? I hope you are number one because you're number one to me. So let's go ahead and see who the actual winners are without further ado. Congratulations to Off the Wall, stealing the gold medal, taking the gold medal platform with 11 correct answers in 55.04 seconds. Urban Sombrero, our old friend, with 11 correct answers in 74.13 seconds. And Saab6888 with 11 correct answers in 85.85 seconds, taking home $10. And that's it, friends. Thanks for playing one-to-win. Congrats to all three of our winners. If you didn't snag any prizes this week, don't worry, we'll be back again next week, every single Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to register your phone number. You get a little text reminder when we're going live. That way you won't miss any of the fun. I have a good time doing this. And if you had fun today, I hope you did. I challenge you to take a little bit of that happiness that you now have, that little spark of joy, and go do something nice for someone else in your life. Because joy is not meant to be kept. Joy is meant to be shared. I've been Timothy Dunn this entire time. Thanks so much for playing. If no one else has told you this yet today, I love you. I'll see you all over on Twitter or Instagram or in my sweet, sweet dreams. Have a great weekend. See you next week. Bye.